I'm Chase.
And I'm Timothy.
And this is Customer Service.
Are my pants look too high in the video?
No, those are good. Those are vintage 501s?
Yeah, they're heavy though.
Yeah, they look like heavy.
You hemmed them. They're like,
yeah.
I don't know why they're so heavy, but
they're probably
heavy.
realistically like a 16 to 18 ounce denim.
Yeah.
Like, because the only way I could work backwards is 21 from Ironheart.
And that's the devil's number, and then you go down. It's just a situation where I usually only wear these in winter, and I pulled them out this morning and put them, I realized we're just going. So
we're just getting it. Yeah,
but I pulled them out, and I was out the door before I was like, these are too heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, are they too short? And then it's like, all right. You know when you get in your head,
buddy.
Here's the thing.
I know?
What's for me is I've noticed it used to be, it's still kind of this way. I had to like make an adjustment. Every single Saturday, I spin out with clothes.
Do you mean like you and Abby are gonna go somewhere, or you just mean you're sitting there and you're like, fuck it,
it's nothing.
You're gonna run an
errand. Yeah, you know what I mean. I like to put like a different, like I like to wear something that I wouldn't wear to work though.
I agree. I do the same thing.
Just because I don't know.
I really freak my shit on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah. It's a freakier vibe.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I sometimes wonder, is that closer to my real vibe?
You know what? It's back to the Jonah from Blackbird Spy Plane situation. It's like, yeah, I think it is. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It goes both ways. Because after a weekend of, say, working in the yard or like running a bunch of errands, I'm excited to put on my quote unquote nice clothes, which I really, even the shit I work in is my quote unquote nice clothes, but it's dirty at this point. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Because I'm with you. I like to just like just throw on some old shoes and a pair of shorts and a jacket over whatever dirty ass shirt I'm wearing, and then. But it's cool.
I don't know if it's It used to be because I worked in the store on Saturday, and that would be like the one day where I knew I didn't have to like work in the back or just on a computer all day. So I'd like, I'll put on like more of a full outfit.
You're not going to ding up your watch if you want to wear something with a finer fabric. You're not pressed up against the shipping desk.
It's not going to get caught on stuff. Yeah. So I would, and I think that like that's where it started. But now, even though I don't need to do that, I'm still doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But I had a moment like that this morning where like it was every single thing. I'm like, I'm in that mode where it's like, I think anytime you have a big weather shift, you're suddenly like, I hate everything in here.
Yeah, man.
Every single thing I own could burn today. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And it'll change because I'll like get like 2 new things. I'm like, oh, everything's good again, Yeah. But and plus, I think you're in the same boat of where like I sold some things, I moved some things, I like kind of consolidated the wardrobe a little bit, but then I haven't bought anything yet.
Yeah.
So it's just I just have like spending money sitting going like that's for clothes.
Yeah.
But I just haven't bought clothes. So now I'm just low.
Well, we do have James Coward, and I know you've been eagerly awaiting that. So that should kind of get you that hit you need to. For a quote unquote reset.
I'm telling you, I think that we're gonna James Coward, and maybe that this is the final conversion of full German Shepherd mode.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to have a mental breakdown and go full like the Mel Ottenborough video I showed you of him looking through his polos and just go all denim jackets and jeans, like nothing else.
Yeah,
I don't own anything else.
It's great. Look at it. It's good.
He's mad you can clearly see it's great. Yeah. You don't think so?
Look at it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Cost polos.
It's really good. If we could drop that clip in somehow.
Yeah. It's like you need 15 seconds of it. It's so sick. He showed me this. I was like, wow. Yeah. I have never resonated with this
commitment,
more.
Yeah.
Like you said, we sold a bunch of shit over winter to buy shit, and the thing is I was 1 in, 1 out, 2 in, 1 out. I think I'm for the last 6 months or maybe a little bit over. I'm probably 8 or 9 items out, 2 in, and they're both denim jackets. So, and that's what I want, and I already have begun that because I think last week 4 days I wore black summer fatigues and one of my 2 denim jackets with a different shirt underneath. Like that's what I did every single day with these wallabies. So I think that I'm down that path because it makes me feel less anxious. I'm finally at the point where I do melt down about my closet. But now I'm melting down about like all my socks are fucking old and mismatched. So I'm finally going to buy the Rototos. yeah, I'm ready to reset the basics and things like that. But in terms of jackets and pants, dude, honest to God, I could not buy shit for a while. I really, truly feel that way. But this could change in 12 hours.
I also am in that like situation. It's like I need to just get rid of the socks and get new ones. I got to get rid of all of my fucking white t-shirts because I'm a dumbass and I don't change my shirt. So like I get home, I put on shorts, but I keep the t-shirt on, and then I do like my painting or cooking, and then I just ruin white t-shirts just left and right.
Yeah.
And like I need to get new ones of those, but like none of that's fun, so it's not motivating me to do it. So I just keep not doing it. You know, this is the summer funk that I think happens.
Yeah, man.
You know,
I'm with you. I got a bunch of shorts that like either don't fit me how I want or like too small now or what have you. Yeah, so I'm with you.
I don't know if I don't sign anything, so I guess it doesn't, you know, but I just did an interview with, I can't even remember who it was, to be honest with you. So I'm not going to get in trouble because I can't even remember who it was, but they were asking me a bunch of questions about shorts, you know?
Yeah.
And it is like a thing where, you know, when you put thought into it, like, I don't think that any guys put any thought into, I don't care how into clothes you are. There's like, you know, 2 out of 10 guys are putting any thought into shorts at all. You know? Even like fashion people. And I think they were asking me like why that is. Tell me if you like this. I was like, well, I think that like for whatever reason, like the problem is most people that get into clothes, especially guys, are like into like this kind of like let's call it like a middle tier of like being into clothes. Like you're not quite like following runway and everything like that, but you're in the know, you know? And then, so you know how to like, so you get into it maybe through jeans or something like that.
Yeah.
Shoes or sneakers, like a lot of people
Sneakers a lot of the time, yeah.
So you learn enough, but you never really learn about like trouser fit and like what double pleat versus
I was gonna say
single
pleating
versus
and all that,
double pleating or whatever it is, you know, or anything like that. So you don't really learn about like proper suiting because you're like, well, I'm not a suiting person, you know, and I get that. But then it's also like when you go to buy shorts, like that's now you kind of need all that information. Because I think the problem is I think everyone thinks you can just like chop pants. And you can. I'm not saying you can't
Which is what I do.
that. But you can't just chop any pants.
Not all pants translate into a short fit.
So what I see a lot of guys doing is the thing where the silhouette is sort of like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a triangle.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, the pant was a straight leg and it had and it fits your waist perfectly.
Yeah.
So now what used to kind of do this and then come back in is now just going
straight out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then no one knows like, where do I cut them? And I think shorts, like short shorts were popular for so long. And look, I'm pro short shorts. We grew up in soccer. Like that's what I kind of know of shorts.
Knees, yeah.
But like I was never super comfortable even when like shorts were baggy. That just like wasn't, it didn't rock for me. I liked them short. But the problem is now I think that got popular. So now I see a lot of dudes who are kind of like a top heavy dude with whether strong or not, but like, you know, bigger up top proportionally with like short shorts. And then it's like, well, that's not now I appreciate you feeling confident down there, but like you've got like a big boxy top and like a short, and now things are looking peanut M&M-y. You know what I mean?
I got you. Understood.
So I think that it's like,
look at this perfect dog.
That is a nice
Border
looking
collie
dog.
walking by. Love it.
The biggest issue we have with the new setup is that well, no, I don't care about the people. The dogs walking around is a real, because every time I see him, I'm like, what's he doing? So anyway, I just think that like it is like an interesting like, because I think that's the problem is like no one knows like what the right lengths are, what the right fits are. If I'm gonna cut off, where should I cut them?
Yeah.
Because I think like if you're gonna cut off pants, they have to be like the pant has to be like a size or two big.
Yeah,
that's the perfect short. Then you're gonna get the right proportions.
Yeah. But like, for instance, my summer fatigues are such a big rise; they kind of hang off my waist a little bit. If I were to cut those into shorts, it'd be insane.
Well, it's because the leg's too big.
Crotch short with a full leg.
But at the same time, like depending on your build, and you kind of notoriously have like back and then butt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that isn't going to work. But like if you are a person that's like a little curvier, the problem is then you need like a high rise, especially for a shorter short.
Yeah.
So if you have like a low rise thing, and that's what I think I'm seeing a lot. That's
Stuff
this like
in 'em.
era
That's the
of
baggy
like,
fit.
what are
dude.
those? What's that nasty short company? What's it called? It's called, you know it?
Is it Chubbies?
Chubbies.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I was like, it's got like a nasty name too.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the vibe of those. It's like low rise and short. And you're like, no, this works on like 2 guys and you'll know 100% if you have the right build for that. You know
it's the photo of the kid in the pink outfit. He's standing like this on the sidewalk and he's in all pink and you can see the suntan from his sock lines and shit. And he's in the little tiny shorts. If we could put that kid in, clip
like
there
the
real quick.
Sperry's and stuff.
I agree. Shorts are, for me, I've always kept it really simple. It's like like a mesh short, you know, like the Beams ones we had last spring, like the Canoe Club shorts we have now, which are the sweatpant material, or it's cutting off an old pair of pants and turning them into shorts. It's exclusively the shorts that I have. I don't have anything between. I have those pair of shorts to hem for you. I need to hem those, but those are a little bit more. It's like the polo twill, and
it's like the country club short.
Yeah, yeah.
When I like that, because like I said, I buy them a size too big, and then I want them to, because they have a high rise, but they're not a super long inseam, so they feel very comfortable on me because they fit up high, and then they're still like shorter without, but it doesn't. They're like billowy because they have like a pleat
they're
in
not
them.
tight. Yeah,
so they're not tight on my leg at all, but they're shorter, and then that works for me proportionally really well because I tend to wear like more cropped things up top. But see, this is what I mean. I'm being like hyper intentional about length and rise and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I think it's a hard thing to do. And I think the other problem is, or like what I wrote about was like, I think the issue kind of comes down to by the time you need shorts, like it's hot enough that you need shorts, especially in this current fashion cycle and this current version of hell that we live in. Like the summer like doesn't really even like really hit until like mid-July, you know what I mean, where it's like hot and sunny every single day. And the humidity's gone. You're not getting the breezy nights. It's just hot.
It's just hot throughout the night.
So
Because,
you're
like, for
fuck, I
instance,
need shorts.
It's hot this week, dude. We're in 80s and going up to 90s
Yeah,
this
but
week.
at night
but
it's
it
nothing.
cools down at night. You have the window open. You can air your shit out.
I've
But
been going on
middle
walks
of
at night,
July
it's
here,
perfect.
dude.
You can wear like, I wear like a sweater and shorts at night, and it's great. You know, so it's like it's not. We're not in that like where you're like I need.
Because you could sleep in a house with every window open and no roof, and you'll still sweat without AC.
Right
it's way
now,
too fucking
jeans
hot
and a
in the summer.
t-shirt, even in the middle of the day, you're fine.
Yeah,
you
you're
know what I
good.
mean.
Yeah.
But it's gonna change. Then you're like, fuck, I need shorts. But you're like, well, what do I need shorts for? Like a month? And then by that point, nobody's selling shorts anymore because that season's over, and we're starting to get.
We're getting
fall,
down jackets.
and you're like, never mind. I'm not gonna spend $200 on shorts because I'm only going to wear them for X amount of time.
Yeah.
And then the problem is next summer you do the same thing, and then you're like, well, next summer I'm not going to let that happen. And then you do the same thing. I feel like it's this weird thing where no one wants to like invest in it.
Yeah.
But I do think it's kind of worth the investment. It's just a matter of like doing it, and then I think it's like like I said, it's just not as easy as buying like a pair of jeans. You got to like. Your body size and proportions and stuff really affect what short fits.
And then also depends what kind of shoes you got on. Are you wearing socks? You're not wearing socks. You know what I mean? There's a whole myriad of things you don't even have to consider.
Yeah, like
with pants.
Shoe size, girth of shoe, length, like height of sock.
Yeah.
Size, like it's like everything suddenly is like you know what I mean? Like then material is like a whole separate thing because you're like, well, it probably needs to be. I don't think you want like a stiff. I don't want to cut these fuckers into shorts because they're like 18 ounces. You know what I mean? It's like too much. It's just gonna sit weird. So it needs to be kind of flowy. So it like there's a lot. It's like I think it might be one of the most difficult pieces in a men's uniform to get right.
I agree.
You know. So anyway,
I agree. It's so dependent on your shape. It really truly is. Yeah. And people might not like that, but it's just true.
Yeah.
Pants kind of even the playing field. You know what I mean? So
okay. Well, I don't know what got us on it. You said shorts, and I was thinking about that article. And
how we doing? How was the weekend? You got anything fun to report? As we started this podcast, we were talking about an old fella in a bike costume almost exposing himself in a Whole Foods. So I'm just here to say it's crazy to me that you still wear the costume.
To be honest with you, that should just be on the welcome sign of Boulder.
Yeah. Hey, everyone here is 65 plus, shaped like Mike Wazowski, and you got a skin tight costume on because you can't ride your bike on the street without it.
You're in a Whole Foods asking a lot of questions.
A lot of questions, still sunglasses on. And you're yelling because you're old and you can't hear. It's insane. You likened it to showing up to the YMCA in an Allen Iverson jersey, shorts to the fucking ground, shoes, headband, compression around the elbow. Yeah. And it's like, we all know that guy looks silly.
You guys mind if I jump in?
Yeah, we all every sane person listening to this podcast would, if they were at the gym playing pickup and you're like, I got next. You don't want that guy on your team. You're like, what is this freak doing showing up in an NBA outfit? But we all think that it's normal to dress in a costume to ride your bike up and down the street. It's so insane. I just want to say also, I rode 88 miles in a pair of soccer shorts and a fucking tank top with a North Face backpack on my back. So I'm here to tell you, you can do it just fine without the costume. Go ahead,
You
Timbo.
have a very specific tone of your voice that changes when you're about to like hop on your soapbox. Where I can tell like, oh, here we go. It's like a more linear, like flat version of your loud voice.
So anyway, God bless you. If you're out there putting up numbers and you're a true athlete on a bike, then God bless you. Maybe you do need to wear the outfits. I'm here to tell you that if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably not that guy. Actually, there is a person who listens to this podcast, lives in PA. Him and his family come out here, they shop. Him and his better half listen to the pod all the time. That motherfucker, he did it professionally. He should be wearing the costume. These guys sitting out here drinking coffee with the 12 olds that live down the street, they don't need the costume. So,
Speaking of the devil.
You got,
Speaking
any,
of the devil.
you got any more? No, that guy's chill. He's just going fishing, man.
He just had a tight outfit on.
He had
And a
flip-flops.
costume. No, he's just wearing a
doing-
tight outfit. That's different.
We're pro bike. I'm fine.
I'm
with
pro
bike.
bike and I'm
I
pro.
just-
Also, if you want to wear little shorts and a little tank top, I'm
Love
pro
it.
that.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be branded with Cliff Bar and shit and have a million colors.
Yeah.
Full
That
bike.
is, you know what? I agree. There is one thing that's a problem, and it's like there's like sponsors on him. Like you're not
Oh
sponsored.
my god, dude, that's gross. It's
yeah, you're not
gross.
sponsored.
It's gross. So
Yeah, I think it's all really goofy, but I think here's the other thing. Just a reminder, because I don't like when people message me. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like somebody messaged me about I don't remember what the take was at this point. That's the other thing. Or they said something about, hey, I think blah blah blah. I was like, I don't care. I don't remember what I said. I don't care that much.
people will say, "Man, when you said this time, I'm like, give me the context, man. I got
Yeah.
no clue what I said."
Yeah.
Give me a little runway leading
So no
up
one needs
to
to
it,
message us be like, I think you need these, whatever,
Yeah.
these racing pants or whatever the hell
Yeah,
you have.
yeah.
I don't
No.
have this much. We don't have any real venom. You
No,
understand?
the bottom line is I couldn't care less. It's just when we're talking about these going into Whole Foods and shit, and it's like dudes parking their bike outside the door. It's like, just go home and shower, and then maybe you can come in and try on some clothes and ask us questions with your sunglasses
I saw
on.
a guy one time arguing with the Whole Foods security guard of why he couldn't keep his bike on the inside. And
It's
he's
an
like,
expensive bike.
that's what he did. He said like it's $20,000 bike, and the guy was like, I don't give a shit,
give a
man. You
fuck,
can't have
dude.
a bike in here, And it was just like
Take it home.
the guy's insistence that like, oh, this dipshit doesn't understand, and you're just like, all right, buddy, you gotta shut up.
Oh, it's sickening.
Shut up. There was part of me that goes, I'm gonna steal that fucking bike. This is what you get. Chicago justice
I'll
right
park
now.
that shit out in 5 minutes.
You want to
dude.
go around and talk about this? That's great, because I'm
Yeah.
gonna take it.
Yeah.
It's mine now.
What I'll do is I'll take that thing, ride it down to Scott Carpenter Park, get all those skate rat kids skipping high school, say, guys, if anybody here can cobble together $10, this bike is yours to do with whatever you want.
Yeah.
So-
He's gonna see me out in the parking lot, like Canal Street, trying to move that bike. How much you say?
Yeah.
20? It's just 10 now. Half off today.
That's tight. That's tight.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Okay. So I don't know what you got excited.
I was throwing shade towards people who ride bicycles. I'm going to call them cyclists. Again, you're a cyclist if you get paid. If you pay, you're not professional.
Mhm.
How was the weekend?
Good. It's fine.
Nice.
Nothing exciting to report if I'm being 100% with you. You know what? I did have a nice Friday night where it was like we kind of got home, girls were sort of doing their own thing, but I wasn't ready to do anything, So I wasn't ready to retire, which is not normally my
Yeah.
vibe, but I was like, I'm going to go out.
Did
Get out on the town.
You stayed clothed when you came in, kind of. You kept your outfit on. You're like,
I
I'm
do
not
that
ready.
anyway. Sometimes like I said, sometimes I just change the bottoms.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just
Yeah.
need freedom of mobility. And it's primarily because I like to sit outside and I have like I said, I have one of those little like low tea tables,
Yeah.
with a little like a tatami type, And so I can't like in jeans, it's not as comfortable.
Yeah,
So
dude. Pulling on your
I
knees
gotta
and
be
stuff.
in the shorts to be out there. So
Yeah.
other than that, so but yes, I was like I'll do dinner, make sure everyone's set up, and then I'm gonna go do some stuff. This is the stuff I decided to do because I don't have that. I just cobbled together things I always do, but I was like I just spun out because I'm like I don't want to just go do one thing and come home. I'll just be out for the night.
Yeah.
So I went to the gym.
Oh yeah. Did you see Maybach guy?
No, it was a quiet night at the gym, but I had this really nice, when you have like, I think that like mostly life's kind of miserable, and then you have like a handful of moments where you're like, oh yeah, everything's okay.
This is good. Yeah.
And I was
yeah.
working out at the gym. I'm listening to that old Narrowhead record that's
Far removed with
yeah, it's
the
just so good.
pixelated face kind of. Yeah. Yeah.
So good. And while I'm doing that, I'm watching Shallow Hal with the subtitles on while I'm working out.
That's a Jack Black movie, right?
Yeah. It just, by the way, I don't think anyone needs to go revisit it because I thought as the movie begun, and I got onto the treadmill like as it started, and I was like, oh hell yeah! Like as the credits were rolling, I was like, Shallow Hal.
How long will you run a treadmill? Is this could you invest in the whole movie or no?
Oh, I could, yeah. I think I just did like 40 minutes on it.
That's still a minute though, dude. That's enough to
Yeah.
see a good part of a movie.
Yeah, I still saw it. Well, and then I just did I did the back row of machines so I could still keep watching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because my whole thing is like, there's no way this movie's gonna be bad. This is probably a regretted movie of Jack Black's.
Yeah. Can you give me a quick synopsis? Because I don't know Shallow Hal.
It's bad. He is. This is like a stereotypical early 2000s like comedy where you're just like, Jesus Christ, like it's like a Rob Schneider hot chick or something where you're like, the premise is offensive. You know what I mean? But it's the same thing. It's like he is Jack Black and he's like this rich guy. I think he's like inherited a bunch of money and he has very high, like what he calls very high standards with women, but he's just like only interested in like skinny girls, basically.
Sure.
This is the premise. And then he like some sort of guy in an elevator talks to him. It's like he's like a motivational speaker and he like, I don't know, like puts a curse on, not a curse, but puts some sort of thing on him. You know what I mean? That where now he only sees people for their inner beauty. He sees their inner beauty as outward beauty.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of just fat jokes from there on out. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty bad. But there's like a solid messaging around it.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, it's Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow looking truly incredible. This is like the height of
Goop?
her powers. Yeah. The height of her powers, but then she's also, it's in like offensive makeup and stuff. So it does not hold up. It's not good, but it was a movie like I remembered from when I was young, like when I was like 14.
Yeah.
So I just watched that, and I'm working out. I'm on the like bicep machine, watching Shallow Hal like this, listening to Narrowhead. I look outside because I got because like that whole thing where people always say like you're in the only time you see like the most beautiful sky ever is like when you're in like a grocery store parking lot.
Yeah,
so it's like
true.
Gorgeous sky. I look outside. There's some like kind of a crazy looking dude just rolling a blunt the size of his arm outside. And you can smell it on the inside because it's all you got the windows open and stuff. And I was like, "This is a killer night. The vibe is just right."
We've found it.
Yeah. So that is my summer bliss.
Nice.
So I did that. And then
what else you do?
I went and after that, I sat in the car for a little while, made a phone call, and then I went and saw Friendship again.
I love that for you, dude. I love that for you. Just deciding, I'm going to be out and about tonight. It's Friday.
Yep, and that was it. I mean, that was
Yeah.
It still took me to like midnight though.
Sure,
so it wasn't. That's something.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
So
what about you? That was it. I mean, it was like ran errands and stuff.
Yeah. Friday did nothing. Saturday was the first time Michelle and I have been able to hang out properly since she got home.
And what did you break that ice with? What did you?
We just kicked it. I think. We rented a movie. I don't remember if we rented a movie on Saturday or Sunday. We rented.
You finally
movie.
rent Warfare.
No, we didn't rent Warfare. We rented that. I told you about it. A Steve Buscemi movie. It has Helly from Severance, Steve Buscemi, and then another actor that I've never seen before. And the idea is he has been writing a novel, and his wife is Helly, and she hates him, and it's taken him 4 years to write this novel, and nobody gives a shit about it. He meets Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi tells him he's a retired serial killer, and he'll help him write his novel about being a serial killer, and it's just hijinks, It's a pretty like, not in a bad way, but like a come and go movie. It's mostly left my mind. It was fine.
Like
it was
the gas station,
huh?
Like the gas station,
like the gas station, come and go. So that was about it. Took a nap on Saturday. Had some Papa John's. Affected me a little bit. Papa John's is heavy. We can all agree Papa John's is heavy. I think from the best.
It's the lowest of the low, pal.
I saw a commercial and I was influenced and I wanted it. But it's that heavy in the belly. I would prefer Pizza Hut if we're talking chains. Just 1-to-1. Pizza Hut's the best chain. That was about it. I spent a lot of time on the patio. I mowed the lawn. I weed whacked, gardened. Really didn't do shit. Went to Whole Foods in the morning. Did a full. You know what I did get? I had this thought Friday about, I don't remember what, Cole, maybe you and I were talking about something. I was talking about how when I started drinking, I got really into Red's Apple Ale. That's what I was drinking. So I picked up a sixer of Red's Apple Ale on Sunday and had a couple of those bad boys. Sucked a couple of those. Sucked it out of the can like a Budweiser.
Sucked it out the can like a Budweiser.
Slammed me a couple Red's Apple Ales. They held up. They've changed the name. It's now Red's Hard Apple. So it makes me wonder if they had like a lawsuit where like it wasn't ale or whatever it is. It's Red's Hard Apple. But it was great. Had a couple Reds. That's it, dude. That's truthfully it. Really, really a low impact weekend. Yeah.
Low impact. Well, not on your bowels, but
yeah. That's about it. I was gonna get up and clean the gutter. Didn't. Needs to happen though.
I like that this is what the weekend update has now divulged, because I don't know why we pencil in this weekend update that we do, because neither of us have ever done anything interesting.
Yeah. Well, did we potted last week? The weekend prior, I went out to Hey Kiddo, went to a Hawaiian food pop up. I don't know if I talked about that.
Hawaiian food pop up.
Yeah, they had like a I don't know the relation. Someone who works in that umbrella grew up in Hawaii or is Hawaiian and wanted to have a Hawaiian food pop up. From what I understand, it was good. You know, things you'd expect. Some chicken, some pulled pork, mac salad, mochi bread, had a honeydew cocktail. So that was the weekend prior. Had some ice cream. But yeah, I mean, my weekends are really. I'd love to tell you guys I did something crazy.
Every single time you're always like, let's see. Well, I had pizza and then Chinese food and then it's like I don't want to ask what you
counting
ate.
all the
like
food
all you're
I ate.
talking about.
Yeah, I will say we're in a good spot with produce now. It's starting to turn into summer. The nectarines have been good.
Big update, everyone. We're finally in a good spot with produce.
I need everybody to know we're in a lull. We're in a dead zone, so to speak. The Saturn peaches are in. Those little round flat boys. They're really good. Hopefully, Palisade peach season here starts soon. Yeah, man, I really got nothing crazy to report on that. And I made friends with the lady across the street. Miss Shannon has made friends with her and talked with her before, but I had never have. I chopped it up with her for just a little bit. She goes,
I like that you adding stuff to the weekend is somehow making it more boring.
Yeah, man.
You talk to a neighbor for, I would imagine, under 15.
Oh, we're talking 3.5.
There we go.
It kept it a tight 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I did become 55 recently. Is basically, I most identify with like a 55 blue collar man. I'm just missing a truck and
a blue collar job
and things to do.
Yeah.
So, that's about it.
Yeah.
But no, that's about it.
All right.
I wanted to talk about the Red's Apple Ale. Oh, shout out! He's been on the pod, Jared Sharf. He sent you and I couple each one of his pedals that he did. Can you talk about that just real briefly? Like, because I'm not a pedal guy, but maybe like the effects and stuff.
Well, this is going to be me and it's going to be, if I do that, this is the next 15 minutes are for me, Cole, and the one other guy that I know is super into pedals that listens, but he's, Jared Sharf, you should go back and listen to his episode. He's a super cool guy. And, we've really gotten to be close with him after the pod and everything. So it's been really fun to get to know him. He used to play guitar for SNL. He's got his own projects. There's all sorts of stuff you can go back.
Massive Japanophile dude, but really like he's a tea head. He's deep in the tea. TEA.
So he sent us a really nice thank you gift of the pedal that he worked on with Walrus Audio, which is like a very 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 cool, small boutique pedal company in the pedal space. So he worked on it with them. I knew of the pedal prior to him sending it to us. I think this happened, I don't know what year it would have been, but a little while ago. Yeah. They don't make it anymore, and so he sent us the last few he had, which was really nice of him. So it's a really cool thing to like have. It's very like him. It's very like specific. For all the pedal nerds, just look it up. It's got all sorts of like he actually, the thing to do is watch the video that he did with Sweetwater on it. He sent it to us, but I'd already seen it before, to be honest with you. and so you should check it out because he talks through like his line of thinking, but also like, you know, I think it's always cool when there are, this is getting dorky, but like when like artists do have pedals, because I think that like if you think about someone who's going to be able to make an interesting pedal, it's not to say that people aren't doing that. They obviously are, but those are a lot of like dorks that noodle around with guitars in garages doing like very complicated, cool computer things that, you know, it's
I was
it's
going to
awesome,
say it's
but-
more like engineering
Yeah,
to an
totally.
aspect than like,
Yeah.
you know, because not every guitar player can tell you why a pedal does what it does.
Yeah.
So they're very different skills, you know?
And the thing is too, like I think that anybody that's played guitar long enough could tell you, oh, if I had a pedal that did this, like that's what I've always wanted it to do. You know what I mean? Like where it's this incredibly unique set of like these things, and that's what he did. So I think that those kind of things are really fun to collect or have, just because it's like, oh, this is like a very unique vision of something that like that artist needed because they couldn't find it. So it's really cool for that reason. It's a really nice and special gift. So thank you, Jared, and if you're listening.
Yeah, shout out Jared, love you, baby.
Yeah. So incredibly nice.
Yeah.
So awesome. It's I have not played it yet. I will at some point. I wanted to call him about it and talk to him about it a little bit more, like you said. But it's just sitting next to some of my other guitar stuff in my room. Yeah. So it's like on display.
Yeah, same. I've got it in my office.
Yeah.
Nice. Well set up because
so that was very nice.
Have a guitar or play guitar or anything like that.
Yeah.
I could play tabs. I learned intro to a couple Title Fight songs, but that's about it. You know what I mean?
That's cool. You want to talk about what you're messing with right
Happily.
now?
This is so
these have become a problem at this
This is I think
business.
what Al called it is like a non-Newtonian fluid or a Newtonian fluid. Basically, it's like a stress ball. But the thing is like at its resting state, it's like hard, like it's like really hard. But then when you press it gently or it warms up, it softens up. So we've got a handful of these. Timbo called it the Tesseract. we have a big one I got for Gia a year ago that is called Dinkelberg. There's Dirty Bubble.
Dirty Bubble is the most disgusting one because first of all, it's the most dirty.
Dirty Bubble.
It looks like a giant. It looks like a 1998 implant, and it's like. And whenever I'm talking to you guys are like groping it, and I'm like, I multiple times I've had to say you have to put that down if we're going to continue this conversation.
Al had Dinkelberg in his lap this morning.
When I came out of the bathroom last week and Cole was washing it. And I was like, what are we doing?
Oh my God. But when I heard Dirty Bubble, because it's like one of these, but it's air on the inside. You blew it up. What were those called, Cole? Remember? It's a la the 90s, like Timothy said, late 90s.
Oh.
It came in a little plastic thing.
Had a straw.
A what?
You would like blow into it and it would.
It was a little straw.
And
is that not Dirty Bubble?
Gia had one of those actually.
Yeah, no, those are just like
I got her one of those from Target recently. Yeah,
but they don't just like stay. Like they're like they just like it's like it smells like chemicals when you do it.
The proof is in the pudding that nothing triggers a memory like scent, because when we opened that up and I was like, oh fuck, I remember. You'd have to blow in the straw. It's so hard to blow that chemicals are like pushed back into your mouth. It is the most foul, disgusting smell and taste. It's so aromatic, but that is what Dirty Bubble is. It was a hunk of goo that you'd put a little tiny straw into and blow in, and then it would like seal itself.
God.
And so that's Dirty Bubble. But we've got a lot of these. There's just we got a sensory aware group here, you know, all of us. And so we have these squares, and then somebody lost one.
Little toys all over the place for you guys.
Bravo and Alec, but he didn't even let me play with my toys.
I've heard you guys, Leah, like fighting about them, arguing, making little games, and then they're all so dirty and they're so like highly touched. It's the most highly touched thing here.
Yeah, they're really disgusting, but I can't keep my hands off it.
That's the clip. All right.
So yeah, we got these things, but other than that, dude, what is it called?
It's called a Balloonies.
Balloonies. That's not what I know it as.
That's the name brand that had.
Well, it's not going to be called Dirty Bubble. That's something you.
No,
that's what we named it.
I knew it as something else. Abby had the right word, and I don't remember what word she said.
I'm trying to find.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if I got anything else to report. I don't. So, Cole, did you want
nope. As if you were able to index that quickly. I've searched the files. There's nothing there. Are we at a good spot? Should we talk more? Should we get into questions?
Let's get into some questions.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I think you guys will have fun with.
Yeah, Cole. Also, real quick,
Yeah.
I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. Your hat, it's purple, and then yellow lettering. It says Newport Jazz. Growing up in my hometown, there was Harbor High and there was Ashtabula High. When I got to high school, the year before I got to high school, they combined both schools and knocked down the high schools that were previously there. I grew up really close to Harbor High. The colors were purple and gold. They were the Harbor Mariners, and it's just got me spinning. I need to find some Mariners merch. I've got a Harbor Mariners blanket that you'd buy at like the high school football game, and I'm talking like being like fucking 4 years old, dude. Yeah. And you put it down on the bench so your butt didn't get wet, And that is in my office, and I love it because it's such a deep cut. Nobody knows about Harbor High. I need to find some Harbor High merch. So I'm just saying that out loud. Or if anybody out there is a real eBay head and can find one, Harbor High Ashtabula. Send me a link.
I remember one time there was this kid at he was like kind of a small kid, and he was like he wasn't on the soccer team, but maybe he like did the gear or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. We were done with the game. We were going over and we were talking to like our friends, and he wanted to. He wasn't like friends with any of us. He was just sort of around, and he was telling these two like popular girls. They're sitting at the top of the bleachers, which is like where the popular kids sit at the very top, and he goes, "Hey ladies, make a little room for me." And they were like, "No," and he goes, "All right, girls, you either scoot out of the way or we're doing this manually." They were like, "No." So he just starts crawling through the bleachers up under them and through it, and then just sat there and watched the rest of the game. That guy
didn't even affect him.
No, he just didn't. I mean, the thing is, like, we all thought, like, what a weird guy, and then now you're like, that's exactly the right attitude to have. Like, ladies, move over, or we're doing this manually. And he's just like, I'm doing this regardless. This is what I want to do.
Unembarrassed.
I'm not giving up my teen years because you guys won't scoot over.
So I'm sitting there.
Yeah, we're sitting there. I don't care what spot that is. I don't care who you are. And it's like, that's correct. That's the right way. If you just all like treated life like that would be better.
Did his hair stick up straight?
He had like thick like blonde hair that was like white. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
It was like white, but it was like kind of thick.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like not a bowl cut, but it was kind of a bowl cut.
Yeah.
Little guy.
Hell
little
yeah.
guy. Yeah. He's probably doing great, to be honest with you.
Energy like that, he gets the job done.
Move out of the way. I'm here. It's just like,
ladies.
Yeah, he just didn't. Yeah, I don't know. He's probably doing great, man. I feel like that's more and more the energy I need to take as I get older, which is just like, no one's gonna stop me from doing the things I need to do. The things I need to do, and I don't care who's in the way.
Yeah.
If I could harness that, I would be unstoppable.
Well, it's like you said when Will leaf blow out here out front of the store, and you got to stop because people are walking by. You said in Chicago, it's like now if you're hosing down the sidewalk, like
you're getting sprayed.
Otherwise,
you gotta cross the street.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. Yeah, man. I don't know. There's something to be said about the energy of cities. I like that energy, but I don't like all the people that come with it. You know what I mean?
No. Here's what I do think is like better than honestly like a place like Boulder is that like in a city like I don't care who you are, we're all kind of occupying the same space. It's a nice equalizer. I think we've talked about this before. I just like that's like. You can have $1 million, you can have no dollars. We're all in the same place and sharing the same air, and you're gonna have to deal with that.
We're on this train underground together.
And I think it grows some people and shrinks other people in positive ways either way. And you're just like, we're all on kind of the same page here because we have to be.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
I like it too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the city aspect. I like when you talk to like a New Yorker or somebody from like Boston and they just like don't give a fuck clearly, and it's like, wow, you're just a different breed. You know what I mean?
Well, I think
you just get what you need.
You just kind of have
to take up the space.
Yeah, you just got to do. You got to do stuff. You're like, I got to be on this bus. I don't care how many people are on it. I got to shove my body in here. I don't care. You know what I mean? Because
I need to get to where I'm going.
Exactly. I think it's just like you just had this mentality of like I got to just get through stuff. I think it was like a great thing for me to do in my 20s to shake me out of like, stuff. Like,
that's totally, that's true. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Of just being like, you got to just deal with this. You know what I mean. You got to get where you're going. Doesn't matter. People are in the way. Give him a turn. How hot is that thing?
Get it off me. It's so hot, dude.
God. Okay.
It's hot when it's instantly melty.
I feel it's like ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm with you though, Timbo, because I feel like I'm really glad I did that when I was younger too. Because
you were in Boston.
Yeah, it's like having to go to Whole Foods and grab so many groceries. and like carrying it like a mile back to our apartment.
Yep.
Oh, you were
And it's
walking
like,
and shit, huh?
Yeah, and it's like because it's easier to walk to do anything.
Yeah.
It's and that's what I love about being in a city. But it's like that kind of you're in rain, shine, snow.
Yeah.
You got to do it. You need your groceries, and I think that just kind of builds a little like character of like I just need to do it.
I'd have to like go
Hmm.
to like band practice and stuff like with the guitar on me and been like, I'm a moving target right now. I need to be head on a swivel right now, and I'm gonna have to take this thing on this packed ass bus when no one wants me to be on in the first place, especially not with a long thing attached to me.
Yeah.
So it's just like and you just gotta like do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, well, that or don't do it. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice when you just have to like you're forced to do things you don't really want to, or forced to like
Yeah.
participate in society when you don't really want to. I've told you a million times, I would so much prefer. Around here, I go to like the coffee shop or the thing. I'm always seeing people I know and having to be like, oh, a little stop and chat. There, nobody wants to do that. No one's trying to bother you. You're not trying to bother. You're packed in there, but like no one's trying to interact with anybody. Unless it's a mandatory interaction. So I think there's more autonomy there sometimes.
Timbo, more people approach you than they do me.
But
for
this
multiple
is the
reasons,
thing,
but nobody approaches me, and I'm not even saying. I'm saying in relation to the podcast, yes, but otherwise, I'm never, ever getting talked to in public. Hardly ever. Like once a year, will a stranger like ask me a question or something?
And the thing
I
is,
just
like,
don't put the energy out there. Maybe I don't know.
I don't think that's true because you are so much more of the light changed dramatically.
Yeah.
Here. I don't know if that matters, but you're much more of a golden retrievver than I am. I'd say between the two of us, you're more friendly. Except for you're friendly on like the internet.
Yeah, and I'm friendly like to people in my circle, but I generally I give people what I want in return, which is space, and I don't fuck with them, look at them.
I don't know what it is because I also like notoriously have like bad resting.
You said,
but like I'm getting approached and like dealing with weird shit all the time. You can ask Abby, and like I'm not. What do you think I'm looking for?
You're not seeking it out. I know.
No, it's just like weird stuff. Just kind of finds. Here's the thing. I think it's because I notice. I told you my great joy in life is like hoping that you see something like funny or weird happen. You know, like you never know. Like we've talked about that lady slipping on the banana peel where I'm like, I didn't get
outside of a David Sedaris concert or reading, which is all just it adds to the lore.
Had her books to get signed, throw them everywhere. I just like that is like you don't think of that happening in real life of like like it's like one of those slide whistles happens and you fly in a banana. But like I love that shit. So I think maybe I'm a more observant than most, and maybe that's why. Because I'm seeing something and then you're inadvertently in it because you saw it. Maybe it's that. I don't know. Yeah. But I feel like I had two things just this weekend. I can't remember what they were. I wish that I told Abby about. And she's like, why do these things, why do they always find you? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like a weird, it's because I saw a girl. I was walking into the gym the next day. I was going in.
Like you parked and you're walking into the gym.
I'm parking and walking in. There's a girl in front of me. And well, at least I think she's a girl. She has like long hair. It's up in a ponytail. She's short shorts. I mean, I'm just making an assumption that, but I'm also not thinking about it at all until the moment where I need to think about it, which is she's walking in front of me. She's got a big gym bag on her. She walks past the women's locker room, and I did at that point. I'm like, where's this girl going with that big bag? People don't like carry bags around the gym. Yeah. And then I'm like, she's definitely going into the men's locker room. So she turns and I'm like, we're both going to the same place right now. I'm trying to put my bag down. And I'm like, this is my bad. This is just not a girl. You know what I mean? I just like misread. Who cares? Sure. And then as she goes to turn, I'm like, oh, it's definitely a girl. And then I'm like, I don't know. I can't say something now because I'm like, maybe they identify different. I don't know what the rules are. I actually don't really, you want to be in the locker room too? I don't care. I don't want to be in there seeing what I'm seeing.
If anything, it's I would assume the women's locker room is cleaner, a more
probably
easy to occupy space. I would assume the guys' locker room is a dirty pigsty.
Listen, at the gym I'm going to, because it's like predominantly college kids, it's like the cleanliness, they try to keep up on it, but these dipshits are the worst. And it's like dudes in there that are nude talking about like, should we get brewskis later? And I'm like, ooh, I thought this was like a joke that people talked like that. You guys are really saying brewski still? I'm like, that can't still be going on. And I'm telling you, it's still going on. And
they're going to get some red.
She walks in as soon as she turns the corner, because there's always like an old guy nude in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just love to be nude in the gym.
always
something about
and
it.
she turns and she goes, "Oh my God." And then she turns into me and runs into me. I'm like, I wanted to say something. I didn't say it. I was like, I wanted to say something, but I didn't know what was inappropriate and appropriate here. So because of social nicety or me not wanting to be wrong, I just let
you go into that
This
situation.
happen. I can't help it. And so, so that's like that's a weird thing.
Yeah.
And I get stopped a lot. Like people like pick me to ask. I'm like, I'm not gonna help you.
That's what I'm
To ask
saying.
me for directions, and I'm like, you've hit the wrong person. I'm not Chris Columbus, baby. I don't know where anything is. I don't know
Certainly
where
don't be
anything is.
talking north, south, east, west. Do not talk to him about cardinal directions.
Yeah,
I'll shut his
hate-
brain off real fast.
Yeah, when people are talking nautical to me.
Yeah.
Get
I'm
out
not
of
a
here.
sailor.
Nope. Tell me where the Dairy Queen is.
Yeah.
Honestly, not as specific as you telling me like that's the Dairy Queen where Bussy threw up in third grade. It's like I don't need all this, dude. Not that one, the other one.
I did it literally yesterday, or I did it yesterday too, where I started to tell you a story and there's Timbo, we've been together a lot. Might as well have been. You know what I mean? We've spent months of our life together, if not like a cumulative almost a year at this point. You know what I mean?
Easy.
8 years of 45 hours plus a week plus multiple days outside of it together. Anyway, point being is I can read your face when I'm talking.
Double time when we're in Japan.
Double time when we're in Japan, when we're on the plane
and a half.
together.
Yeah.
We sit for 12 hours, don't talk. But I could tell that, and you start smirking, and you're like, see, this is what I'm talking about. You start out telling a story, and you give me a million details that no one needs.
Half the story is details that don't affect the story.
Michelle says the same shit. She'll go, okay, get there.
Yeah.
And it never matters, dude. It never
Like the
does.
story itself is a minute long, but there's 15 minutes extra of like needless, like extra stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this will not come back up in the story. It's just you giving endless context.
It's just context for context sake.
And it's also context for people that like, it's like exclusively about shit of like the place you grew up.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even know any of these things.
Or
I don't
like-
know these people you're talking about. I don't know this place you're talking about.
Or like early Boulder days. You know what I mean? It's like one time my buddy knocked his other buddy out. They were drinking, and the one buddy had a girlfriend, and the girlfriend was really nasty to him, and we all knew it. But like it was one of those situations. Hey, I've been there. You know, college, been there as well. But you know, like, and not to. I own my part in my shitty relationship in college. It went on too long for both of us. We both should have been smarter. You know what I mean? But point being is, his buddy was like, man, fuck her, dude. She doesn't even this, that, and the other. And he knocked him out fucking cold in his bedroom. And we all had to
Just
go.
for saying that?
Yeah, they were really hammered. But one punched him. And my buddy who he knocked out his buddy, that kid was like 6'5". He like cold cocked him, just boom. But anyway, it's like I'll tell stories related to that. You know, if I were giving context, I'd say it's by that house where, you know, this one, you know what I mean? I give the context of things that happened to me personally. But I do give unneeded context. It's just kind of how it goes.
It's like you're always talking like I need to be creating a map.
Yeah. Yeah. But
right.
you know what? I don't like when people will say, oh, it's like Cole yesterday. God bless you. You grew up here, so it's easier for you. Be like, I go, where is that? And you go, oh, it's just north off 285. And then you were telling me about where a river meets, and you're like, yeah, I think it's, well, the North Platte empties into this. And I was like, dude, that means nothing to me. I need you to tell me where the closest restaurant is and if it's one that I've been to.
I've lived here 8 years. When you say 285, I have no idea where that's at. I don't know what that is. I don't know where that's at.
285 leads
we
to
don't,
where?
No.
Yeah,
we don't
I don't
litigate
know.
this on the podcast. We
People
don't
can
need,
look
we
it up
don't
on
need to
Google
do
Maps.
this. We don't need to do this.
That's not what leads into Estes, though, real quick, right?
No.
Okay. Never mind then.
No.
I don't even know where, like, I don't know which direction Denver is from Boulder. I didn't grow up here, so I've never looked at it. Like, the only time you're looking at a map is when you're in school and they teach you about it a million times and you're like, I know where this stuff is because I looked at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've never,
The lake
I didn't
is north.
MapQuest when I'm here. So I never like looked at a full map and went, okay, here's where I am and I need to know where I'm in relation to other things.
Yeah.
I'll just get up and I'll go, where do I need to go? And then Google will tell me and then that's where I'll go.
Yeah. Fair enough.
See, maybe I'm just a nerd because I love wherever I am in the world. I always love zooming out, being like, where am I? Where's the
A guy
water?
like you
I like
who
doing
likes fishing and things like this knows roads.
Yeah, you should know
It's just
little
fun.
lakes
I
and shit.
don't know
Yeah.
roads.
I have a buddy that I grew up with. He would go to and from Maine to visit family quite a bit, and unneeded context. Point being is,
I'm not trying to screw you up. I'm just pointing out a funny thing that you do.
No, it's true.
I'm used to it. I just know that like the first 10 minutes of the thing, I don't need to.
yeah.
I'll jump in later and I'm good.
He had the ability that if he's been a place, he can get there at any time from any other place. He was able to just like create a map in his mind of anywhere he's been. If he's gone, it's in his brain, and he could tell you the road. He can tell you what exit to take. He could tell you you're going right or left, landmarks. It's just like, that's just his thing. He just took it in, and so he would always tell you, oh, I could get to Maine, or we'd go a place in college or something, and he'd be like, I got it. I've been here once, and he could just like do it. Didn't need GPS, didn't want GPS. It was just really impressive.
What do you think, like, if like an apocalypse style situation happens and you're like, okay, so next up I have to present like, how do I belong to this community? You know what I mean? Like what can I offer you given that, like, you know, like it does, and I don't care if it's like worthwhile to the apocalypse part. I can feel you going down that part way too much. I don't care about
exercise.
what you think you know about that. I just mean like, you're like, this is the most expertise I have. This is like the most helpful I can be. What is that thing?
One would be gardening, assuming we're in it's a finite, community or civilization, and you need to garden. Gardening would be one. I genuinely think that I can cobble together some shit with gardening. But more than anything, it's simple, and it might be a cop out, but it doesn't mean to be. Is like anything that needs to be done with your hands. So we need to board up windows. We need to build an extension to the
I think that we'll hold on, because I think that if someone's like, great, can you get me like tell us how to do that? I don't think that's you.
No,
you're not a contractor. I think that you're a bit more of like you're a guy. I will admit this isn't, I mean this like, I don't mean this as like diminishing at all, because I think this is like I just don't know how to like make it broader. It's like, you're a guy where if you're like, you need to nail these nails into the boards for all day long, you're like, got it. And you'll do it.
They'll be good. They'll be solid.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a good worker, and I'm also good at like working within finite things of like.
Yeah. DIY mentality, I do think, is like a thing I have as well, that we're both on the same page.
It's why we like to do a dig 'em or a build 'em. It's like when we have to move the lights in here, it's an exciting day because you stand on a 16 fucking foot ladder and you're rigging shit. And I like that. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But that would be what I offer. And it's like, yeah, okay, cool. So here's a property. There's an old barn. We're going to take the barn apart, get all the wood, get all the nails, and we're going to build something new with it. Cool. I could do that. You know what I mean? Just give me some time. What would yours be? Kind of the same, like workhorse shit, dude, right?
Yeah, I think that's good. Pop culture trivia from the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, so you'd be the entertainment.
Like 98 to, like maybe like 97 to 2004. Anything in there is pretty solid.
When School of Rock came out.
Yeah.
Stuck on Jack Black.
That's when comedies turned, when they started doing that kind of shit. I'm not a School of Rock guy. I know that like your age loves that shit. I think that movie sucked. I don't know. Like, so there's that. I know a lot about fashion, but I know right away no one needs that.
No. That doesn't matter in this situation. What you possess is the ability to gather and influence. I think that you can get a team of you could get people together.
Like, yeah, you're right. If I need to like get a group of people together and get them all on the same page to like do something that I want to do, I've always been like pretty successful at like.
Yeah, I think if you're like, listen,
group.
we've got 14 people here. I need the 6 of you to come with me, and we got to do X, Y, Z. I think that generally people would probably be like, all right.
I really learned first of all, a lot of it was just that I wanted to do things that when I was younger that I knew were going to be like not easy. Like I wanted to be in a band, but I didn't know anybody who played music, and I didn't play music. So I'm like, well, I got to fix part of that, and then I just got to find the people that do that, and then put them together. And I was pretty all right at that. I could always kind of isolate the group. I could figure out who the leaders were, and then been like, that's who I need to know. And then you know, and then as I've gotten older, I've realized that like 90% of leadership is just commit to a decision, and like they're like all wrong. So you just like pick to it, and then you just try to like
work through it.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
That's most people's problems. Like, all right, let's have a discussion about it. It's like, no. What everyone wants in life is someone to just be like, no, we're just gonna do it this way.
Yeah.
And I'm not good at that in like my personal life. I'm good at that like in a work setting. Yeah.
Interesting. No, but you do possess those
I think
things.
I could.
You could get a group together and influence them and get the job
project manage the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Just me with like my big purse.
Yeah.
My balayage. being like, girls, get together.
Yeah.
I think that would be. I do think that like the apocalypse will need project managers, and me and the Kenzies of the world will.
Yeah.
We'll get this done.
Who's that?
Just like it's like a name you'd hear.
Like a
Mackenzie, you could throw in there.
Yeah.
You know,
Regular Kenzie.
Yeah.
It's just that type of like. It's a strong female leader name in my mind.
You know what?
From that would be my age.
My sister's best friend's name is Kenzie, and I love her. Kenzie's part of the family, so
We know
that's
Kenzie,
good.
and I assume that that's probably what she's doing in life.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't who I was thinking of, but
Being a leader.
she could make it happen.
Yeah. You'd rally around a Kenz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fair enough.
You already got her nickname. You're like, but it's like, yeah, she'll make that decision. She'll make those decisions. Like I'm saying, like we're just doing this.
Yeah.
Let's get to work.
Yeah. Man, I have to say I'm giddy with excitement thinking about the apocalypse. I just hope wherever I am when it happens, me and Michelle are holed up on a big property with a lot of dogs. Extra resources.
Mm-hmm. You guys are gone first week, guaranteed.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Everyone's flocking to my tunnel that I've built to multiple offshoots.
Tunnel.
They're gonna come to the tunnel like, that's all right.
Never mind.
Yeah, they're lined up for something. Like,
oh
man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into questions. We were gonna do that like 40 minutes ago. So
I know
we could do that.
Okay, this is gonna be a 2-part question here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be, what is your dream blunt rotation, and what's your nightmare blunt rotation? And this could be like 3 to 4 people. I feel like that's a good rotation.
Yeah. I jokingly said,
you know what's really turned out to be a nightmare blunt rotation is the cast of that 70s show when they had the blunt rotation.
Yeah.
They're really all bad.
oh, they're all in trouble, huh?
They're all in trouble. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe Topher Grace got out, but I think the rest of them are bad.
Yeah.
All right. So
Wait,
here's what I
hold
want
on.
to do. How many people is normally, when you ask this question, how many people are in a rotation?
I would say you including like 4 or 5.
4 or 5?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. You can do. I remembered that that you'd mentioned this, but I woke up last night. I was sleeping and I woke up and I was like, oh, I didn't ever think about that. And then so I woke up and I put things in my phone. Well, what's gonna be funny is I don't remember what I put in.
Yes.
So I just want to read them raw.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure I didn't. Like I did this for like 10 minutes and then fell back asleep.
Okay.
So we'll do those, but I also want you to put at least 1, maybe 2 sincere ones in. So you can make some of it.
I was
some
gonna
of
be
it's funny,
sincere,
but I
yeah.
want a couple of them to be sincere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have it? Or you want me to go first?
I want you to go
because I don't know. I don't know what's in.
Yeah. I mean, right off the rip, I think I would like to have like, this is half jokey, half serious, but mostly serious, is like Guy Fieri. I think that I've watched so much of his shit. He'd just be a character to sit and chat with. You know what I mean?
That makes sense for you. I just realizing I just missed a meeting, so sorry.
Ooh, sorry guys.
Listening. Okay, so I think I like that for you.
Guy Fieri being involved would be nice, because I'd like to hear him just talk in a regular voice. You know, when he's just talking in a not TV voice, he's just in his inside volume, and he's just bullshitting. You know, and I could ask him about cars and shit,
hot rods,
shit like that. You know, just chat with him. But that, I don't know. But continue, Timbo, because I got
You've got it or no?
No, I mean, there's go ahead.
All right, let's see here. We're doing. Do I start with dream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wherever you want.
It's good. All right, Kourtney Kardashian was number 1, which makes sense for me. That's solid.
Hey.
Alexa Chung, because I've always loved Alexa Chung. Both because I think she'd be funny, but I also think she's cool and I love her. I wrote down Jafar. I assume I meant from Aladdin.
I assume.
Well, because he's like swaggy, you know what I mean? Like
He's
Jafar?
super swaggy.
he's the bad guy from Aladdin.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
You know what I was thinking of? Like, what's cool about him is that as soon as he got money from the Sultan after he like changed people, the first thing he did was just like fucking get new drip. He
Yeah,
suddenly had
splashed
a
out.
whole new outfit and different like jewelry and stuff.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
I love this guy. He didn't even use the power and influence for more than 5 seconds before he just changed his clothes.
Yeah, that's fucking sick.
So I think he's tight. I think me, Kourtney Kardashian, and Jafar is already a pretty solid lineup.
It is a stellar lineup.
I have Justin Bobby from The Hills, which there's going to be like 4 people who know what I'm talking about there.
Blonde hair?
No. He was like the bad. He was like the bad boy.
Pull
from
him
the
up.
Hills.
Short, spiky
He
hair
sucks. No.
with
No.
highlights.
You're thinking. I think you're thinking of Spencer Pratt.
I'm thinking Spencer Pratt. That's
And
what I'm
you know
thinking.
what? I'm
yeah.
gonna. There he is.
Oh, this
That's
guy.
old.
You,
But
dude.
show us young
Hat
Justin
and
Bobby. Don't do
facial
him
hair
dirty
like
like that. I mean, he still sucks, but
No, I'm definitely thinking Spencer Pratt. Oh, brat.
you know what? You're right. In fact, how many people was I allowed to have?
You could keep it going, baby.
There we go. Look at that.
Oh my God.
With Audrina. Okay, so I can't put just people from the hills in, but now I want
You can.
to because I'm thinking like Spencer and Heidi, current Spencer and Heidi,
Yeah.
divorced. Don't
You
care.
tell me.
Either
I
way,
think
it's funny.
they are, yeah.
So I think that like that I'm gonna add them. So how many people does that? I'll cut Justin Bobby so I can have Kourtney Kardashian, Alexa Chung, Jafar, Spencer Pratt, and Heidi Montag.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
mine.
Yeah.
I like
I
that.
understand that most people are going to say that's their nightmare one.
No, that's right up your alley.
That's me and
Yeah.
the villains.
Did you say Gwyneth Paltrow or no?
No, I have Alexa Chung. I'll
Because you're
keep
kind of
Alexa
like
Chung.
her. You fancy yourself as her.
Because here's the thing. This is what no one gives her credit for. She knows what the joke is.
Oh, she gets it.
She
She's not
100%
stupid.
knows what this is.
Oh,
she knows
100%.
doing her bits is fun. If you watched her show, she also like clearly gets it a little bit, but I think she does an amazing job at character acting into like convincing impressionable people that it's all real.
Is
and
her
she
show,
thinks
like-
it's like funny, and I think that's like dark and so good.
Yeah, it's sick.
Yeah.
She's cool. Is
Yeah.
her
She might be
show
bad,
like
but I don't care.
like a talk show?
She had like a very short-lived Netflix show that was
Yeah.
it was not good.
Oh, okay.
It was like 5 episodes.
I was
And
wondering, is it
wasn't,
like the Drew
funny.
Barrymore
I
show?
thought it was
You know
gonna
what I
be
mean?
funny, and it wasn't funny.
No.
Yeah.
It was very serious.
No, I would love actually a Gwyneth Paltrow talk show. If I could co-host a talk show, with
You could be
Gwyneth
the straight
Paltrow,
man.
I'll be
Who?
I'll be her Richard.
Who's
Kuhn.
Conan's guy? What's his name?
Andy Richter.
Andy Richter. Yeah.
I'll be her Andy Richter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just like wear a suit, and then when she makes like I just imagine her like being like rolling her eyes as she's announcing a guest. That's so funny. You know.
So fucking over it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
'Cause she
So
does it cool.
that's your dream. I'll say my dream, and then we can go through a
Yeah,
hellscape.
here's the one thing I made a rule and then I didn't follow it because I don't have these are just the ones that are in here. So I
Yeah.
feel like I have to have one that I really
that-
would like.
It doesn't. The thing is if that's sincere to you, that's like some of the people that I'm going to say like I'm dead serious. I'd like to have a
I think this is funny, like, and I would
Yeah.
like that because that's
Yeah.
a big part of like
just to
if I
sit
could
in
gather
it and
a
just-
group.
Yeah.
And see those people together, especially considering Jafar is a cartoon.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny.
Yeah.
And I think the conversation between Jafar and Spencer Pratt is funny.
Yeah.
So I'd love to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd rather this just as like a film television show where I can watch with the blunt at home,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. With the blood.
I think that let me think here. You go, but let me think of like a serious one that I want.
Okay. So I think Guy Fieri would be one. Now I'm thinking if all these people are together,
I know
or if
that's
it's all
your
individual.
sincere one too, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
well, here's the thing. To be, if I can be earnest for a moment, Miss Shannon and I, we had a long distance relationship for X period of time. Every time we were together, we were in a
Aw.
hotel here or an Airbnb here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And we would watch diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to that, I've watched him a lot pre and post that as well. So I've consumed a lot of his media, and I think that it would be both funny, but like he probably has some good little stories or nuggets to share, right? Him, I think Danny McBride, as you were talking, I was thinking Danny McBride would be a hilarious one because and I've listened to him on podcasts and shit, and he's definitely like a funny guy. But I'd like to just be around him. I think Matthew Berry as Laszlo from What We Do in the Shadows would be hilarious as like a funny one. You know what I mean? Him
I
doing.
didn't think about doing characters. I would sincere when I want Jiminy Glick in then.
Oh my God! Honestly, Martin Short as Jiminy Glick in the blunt rotation just to stir the pot, and because it's top of mind. Anyone out there who might not be, if you know Martin Short or don't, type in Jiminy Glick Bill Hader. Go watch it.
That's like a newer one, or like the Larry David one's really great. I mean, they're
The
all
Jack
good.
Black
Yeah.
one's good,
Yeah.
etc.
They're all good.
I apologize for how much play Jack Black is getting
It's
on
all
the
'cause I
customer
said Shaw Howe,
service
and you're just like,
podcast
here
brought
we
to you by
go.
Canoe Club. But
He seems like a nice guy. He's probably fine.
Oh, yeah.
no, I
he's a
think
nice guy.
honestly, I think Jack Black is probably pretty dope. I think he's been
I don't
married
like-
to
I
the
don't
same
like those
person for a
goofy
long
clothes
time.
He wears,
Yeah, but you know,
like
he's
Jack-
like a carnival worker. but like he just got famous. You know what I mean? That's all.
But like
it
that's
is.
the thing. Sometimes people forget is like he's rich though.
Yeah.
Like he's so rich.
very
he's-
wealthy, yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's,
he's
like,
very
incredibly
well known.
wealthy.
Yeah. And then I would love to have somebody in like hip hop, you know, like I don't want to smoke a blunt with Metro, but like Metro. I don't want to smoke a blunt with Future because I don't think he'd be very friendly or nice. Lil Baby does not want to smoke a blunt with me. I would smoke a blunt with YF and Lucci. So I wouldn't want to smoke a blunt with Young Thug.
You wouldn't?
I feel
like he'd get to talking in a way that would be fun.
You think? Because I think it could get dark fast.
I think
just
any
never
of the,
know.
I think any of the people you just listed could get dark fast.
Yeah. But I don't know. YF and Lucci. Maybe. No, R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan. That's who I would have wanted to smoke a blunt with. You know he almost went to the MLB?
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
He's never told you that fact before?
No, he probably
I tell
does.
everyone.
just
I
haven't
was gonna
listened.
say he's told everyone that fact.
So that'd be like my dream ones. If anybody else pops up, but that's more or less it. Yeah. Like I like Jake Gyllenhaal. He's a good actor, but I don't want to do extracurricular activities with him. He's too serious of a fella. He's too much of a theater guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to smoke a blunt with any theater people. I'll tell you that. Singing at me.
That's maybe sort of the nightmare rotation. To be honest with you, like a group of theater kids.
Yeah, just
Thespians.
theater thespians is what they're called. I think I said this before, but my dad's sixth wife is a thespian, so consider that as a fun
Listen to
fact of the day.
I have a note in here that I just saw that I thought was interesting. I just wrote down. I don't know what I was going to do with this, but it just says young people all dress like they are in the band Fuel. And if you go back and look at that lead singer,
I don't know
that
Fuel.
really is like.
I'm assuming it's 90s. I think I could picture the logo.
Yeah, the song Shimmer.
Is
You
it
probably
is the
know it
logo
if you
like
heard
the
it.
logo Tool?
Kinda,
Like a Ford logo almost?
It was like that sexier thing where 90s things started all having like stars on them, you know, for some reason. Like,
Do you remember
the logo
that?
would always have like a star?
Do you remember the era of pop punk when everything had like a diamond motif? Everything
Yeah, I
was
know
like
what
a
you're talking
diamond.
about. Yeah, everything was like those like tattoo diamonds. You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking-
exactly.
Yeah.
Gross.
And then it became like it's pizza. Everybody, our personalities
Or
are
a
pizza.
cupcake. Yeah.
Yeah, so like the dyed blonde. If you could really find him with the wrap shades too, that's the real look. But they all have like the dyed blonde hair. He had like baggy pants and a small t-shirt and a choker and like wrap glasses. And you're like, that's just like how every kid that's sitting over at Lolita's right now looks.
Yeah. Did you ever have a puka shell? I wanted one
I'm
so
sure.
bad.
Yeah, like a shark tooth necklace, like on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I need a North Carolina Tar Heels hat. Is what
You
I
know
need.
what? For some reason, I can visualize you wearing a puka necklace, like unironically, and I think it'd be fine.
I gotta see it too.
I don't
think
think
it'd
I'd
be fine.
even really.
You wouldn't even bat an eye.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think like maybe it might be the jewelry that makes the most sense on you for some reason.
Because I don't have any jewelry at all. None.
You should do
So.
it.
Okay, I think that I have to put a serious one on there.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the idea because he gave off like an energy that I thought would be cool for a lot of reasons. But like, if you've ever seen the Dries Van Noten documentary, you should. He's like insanely into gardening, and you know,
Oh, for real?
it's like that's
Cool.
his like whole big thing,
Oh.
and just being at home.
Man.
So he's like a designer after your own heart.
Where's Dries live?
France, I would imagine.
Yeah, like France. I think he's from Belgium, but
Yeah.
he's probably
Hmm.
in.
I think
Cool.
but I don't know. He might be. I don't know. I'm not sure where he lives
Mm-hmm.
now. Did he? He didn't pass away, did he? Did he? I
Um,
don't know why I'm now
no, I
second
think
guessing
he's
myself.
still.
He's retired, obviously, because
Yeah.
his boyfriend took over, but or at least at one point. Anyway, it's a great documentary. But he seems like of all the designers I can think of, I would like to talk to him the most because I think he had the most interesting vision for the longest.
Interesting.
So I would
Yeah.
I would be interested in talking to him.
Imagine
Of all
this. Me, you, Richard Kind. He's had 2 gin and tonics. Wouldn't that be a time?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who else you throw in there, like Nathan Lane. You'd know Nathan Lane if trust me, he's the right guy for this.
Okay,
I
I
feel like
trust
they
you.
know each other and might argue.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah.
That's solid. They're like doing a version of us, to be honest with you.
I also
We're doing a version of them.
love Bill Hader, and in all sincerity, I think that Bill Hader would be a nice guy to have dinner or a coffee or smoke a blunt with.
Yeah.
I really love Bill Hader.
Yeah, I could also like Conan, Letterman, these guys okay. We don't need to. We can move on to nightmare. So this one's where things obviously came off the rails because I couldn't think of people's names and I wasn't looking them up. Yeah, this is what I wrote down. I wrote nightmare James Corden. That's the worst.
Oh yeah.
He's that blonde English fella that does carpool karaoke and he's like a talk show host and it sucks.
Does he run up to people, ask them a question real fast, and then scream?
No, that's Billy Eichner.
Yeah, that's I actually like.
He's
that.
my
Eichner's
nightmare.
tight.
He's my nightmare.
That's the weirdest thing. He's a great writer.
Energy is way too much for
That
me.
was a weird show.
Yeah.
Who's James? Show me James Corden, please.
He was known also. He would go out in the street and like do a flash dance like in the middle of.
You know him.
Yeah, hear him. He's an asshole. Supposedly
He is.
everyone hates him.
Yeah, he's like super rude and he's like always he's like the comedy community hates him. Everybody hates him. He sucks. Every time I see him, I'm like, oh God, this guy. He's really insufferable.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't have an opinion about him.
He's
I don't. You know
so
what?
revved up about Billy Eichner now.
Yeah.
That guy from Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I couldn't think of what his name is. You know, the guy with the long hair.
Oh,
What's his name?
oh, what the fuck is his
He's
the
like
British guy?
He's like a far right guy now.
Fucking
Russell Brand, right?
Russell Brand.
Yeah, Russell Brand.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
a nightmare.
Yeah.
He's
Basically-
bad now, right? Because he was
bad to
good,
start
bad,
with.
good,
Yeah.
bad. He's
He
bad.
was bad to start with. He sucked. And then his comedy sucked. And then his talk show sucked. And then now his weird politics suck. He just sucks.
Yeah, I don't.
Russell Brand.
Yeah, Russell.
Yeah,
Brand.
Russell Brand's in there for sure.
That's a good pick.
Basically anybody they've given a talk show host like position to in the past handful of years, or like especially in like the late 2000s, like that's not a person I like Fallon and all that. Ugh. I don't know. I could not come up with this guy's name. That annoying guy that talks about stars.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yes, he's in there too.
You know, and I think that generally people think he's an asshole as well. He's just like really
his
full of
vibe
it.
is really dumb. It's
And
so
you know what?
dumb.
I'm pretty sure that he like
Why is he
scoffs
so?
at the idea of aliens.
Why is he so cocky?
Yeah.
We gave him too much play.
100%.
It should have been like a one-time thing where it's like, oh, he's like a funny nerd that knows about stuff. And then it was like, no, let's have him on every show ever and every podcast. And you're like, no.
Get him out of here.
He's too into it, you know?
No, he has the
What's he even
that
do?
energy where
Yeah,
he's like,
you
oh,
don't
I
know
can't believe you're
about how
so
big
stupid.
Let me give you an example of how big the Earth is that you can under. It's like, shut the fuck up. You're dressed like a poorly paid magician, and then yelling at me about stars. Like, who gives a shit?
I want to smoke a blunt with David Blaine. Speaking of which,
He's
crazy
going
take.
in my nightmare one too. David Blaine's in my nightmare.
another one, real quick. Richard Turner. He's that blind card mechanic guy that I've recommended everybody watch the documentary Dealt on
You're
Amazon.
Too deep. Now we're too deep in one hole.
I could go way deeper in my own circle of things that I repeat watch on TV and shit that you guys have never heard of. But the characters of those shows I would love to hang out with. So, do you have any other nightmares?
That was all I wrote down.
I think it'd be funny. Like what I said, to have Cat Williams. It'd be a nightmare, but looking back, you'd be like, man, that was a fucking ride. You know what I mean? I always reference that video for people in podcasts. I was talking about it yesterday, but
I can say confidently, my nightmare blunt rotation is any guy that is in a YouTube video that you watch.
Yeah.
Would be probably.
You don't want to smoke a blunt with Mr. Ballin?
What about Review Bro?
Review bro.
Yeah. How did you not
Back
bring
with
him up?
another food review. And his new titles for his videos.
Your group is a nightmare. Your either group is bad.
Because I love that show on Netflix, Rust Valley Restores. There's 3 or 4 seasons on Netflix, and if you go to HBO, there's another set of seasons that didn't get uploaded correctly. So you have the end of the show on HBO, the beginning of the show on Netflix with some bleed over. I love that crew. I know them all by name. I would love to hang out with them.
Can someone ask AI do you know how they make those videos? Those
the
weird
fake
videos.
ones, yeah.
Yeah. Can someone make it so that like a Ford Excursion pulls up, and you and your this nasty group, Mr. Ballin, Guy Fieri, who else was in there?
Guy Fieri.
David Blaine, all get out of the Ford Excursion, and it's just like a cloud of smoke, and you guys emerge. This nightmare ragtag group of.
Oh, fuck. Please, who crawls out of the trunk?
Well, that's where Blaine comes from.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, the smoke dissipates and he's standing on top of it.
Yeah.
That'd be
He
so
is the truck.
sick,
It's
dude.
AI, so he can do whatever you want. He can be like a transformer, or David Blaine's the truck.
God, man, yeah, that'd be so sick.
It's like Chester Cheeto comes out.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The new one, the sexy one.
Yeah. Man, Chester Cheeto was so sick back in the day.
Yeah, he had a different kind of attitude though.
Sunglasses and shit.
The puppet version's different.
I want him. I know you said he's a sexy version now. He was sleek as hell back in the day with the sunglasses and the deep voice. He was cool. You'd see that and you'd be like, I can't wait until I can go get some more Cheetos at the store.
The John Mulaney bit about Chester Cheeto being like a heroin addict is like, like his vibe is sort of like a heroin addict.
yeah. He might show up late to the party a little bit.
Yeah. Or did we do it? Did we answer that?
I feel like you guys got
That'll
there.
suffice.
Yeah.
I can't think of any more. The nightmare ones those can just keep coming. I feel like I could do those forever. But
It'd be tough
like any politician.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Any side.
Well, I wouldn't mind smoking a blunt with George W.
What's with you and George W. lately?
You do love George W.
Well, he's top of mind since the Bin Laden doc. Speaking of AI, my
but you
buddy.
understand, like, he wasn't like a hero.
Listen,
And
no
he's kind of the
politicians are
opposite.
heroes. No politicians are heroes.
Okay, so I'm gonna take the floor, buddy. You want to defend George W. Bush? Here
No.
you go.
No, I think the last hero we had was Martin Luther King Jr. And the rest of them since have all been corrupt.
He's not a politician.
Yeah, he was not.
Well, consider him a politician.
You're just talking about anybody that talks to the public about.
I'm talking anybody that had influence in government and enacted change.
I'm not sure.
Which he did. And that's about it.
I think we're in a topic area for you that we should start.
maybe-
we can wrap it up.
Let's move to another.
You know that hill that happens in a pool, and you're like you can't touch anymore. Yeah, you got to start
That's where we
doggy
go.
paddling.
No.
back.
I'm a dumbass.
Yeah.
I'm a dumbass. I am just speaking in broad strokes. Obviously,
You
some
thought the
politicians do.
character of George W. is funny.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying George W. did listen. They've all done
Again,
bad things. So
just-
remove the track record from all of them. I think he would be a funny guy. If we got to go to his property and smoke a blunt in his paint room where he paints portraits and shit, that would be funny and
That's
interesting.
his bathtub.
Huh?
You know what? Have you ever seen that girl on Instagram that comes over and goes, "Can I ask you about art?" You know that?
No.
You guys know what I'm talking about? I want her to come up, and I have this vision where she comes up to me to ask me, and I have the name of it too, and I got to look it up because I don't know what the name of it, but I want it to be the self-portrait of George W. Bush in the bathtub with his toes hanging out of the water that he painted.
That's so sick.
That's the one I want. I want her. Or specifically her reaction to me catching her off guard with that.
Yeah.
I don't even want her to get that hard T she says when she says art out before I go, George W. Bush, him in the bathtub.
Let me stop you there.
Okay.
But no. George.
Yeah. There it is.
Oh my God, it's so fun. Is there a little rubber ducky in?
What's the title of it? What's the title of it?
What is it?
Is it like Self-Portrait 2005?
Something like that.
All right, I gotta figure
And
it out. So
listen. I apologize for anybody I rub wrong with the politician thing. I'm sure that there are people out there doing good things. I just don't believe them. So that's about it. But what I'm saying is the character of George W. Bush is hilarious.
He likes.
Listen. No. Fuck. Obama ruled, but I don't want to smoke a blunt with Obama. You know what I mean?
It doesn't. It seems. Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to. That's the point I'm trying to communicate here. That's all I'm trying to
I'll
say.
blast a cig with him though.
Yeah,
Blast a cig with him.
Oh, yeah.
There's also the Key and Peele bit where he's doing Obama in college and he goes and intercepts a joint. You guys don't ever sleep on Barry O. So that version of Barack Obama sounds funny to smoke a blunt
I think
with.
the
Not the
problem
real
is what we're
Barack.
doing is when we're thinking about like politicians, we're thinking about like the SNL character that was done about them. Like that's who we like.
Yeah.
I don't care about what they did or really know. I just remember the jokes and the bits about.
Yeah, 100%. And like obviously, you don't want to smoke a blunt with Donald Trump. But Shane Gillis doing Donald Trump, or who's the guy that does it for SNL?
Oh, I always forget his name. Shit.
They both do a good
watched an
job.
interview with him a couple
Those
days
are
ago.
both top tier Trump impersonators, and that would be funny for the bit. So that's the difference.
It's hard I think when you like things to be funny in life, it's hard to not imagine a scenario where if I had the opportunity, you do kind of want to, because
You want
just to like run a random line of questioning by a lunatic is,
that's where I'm coming from. Is how would you not? How could you not get into hijinks? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So.
If I did get a chance, there's a lot of questions I want to ask, but I do really want to know is like, Is the Trump McDonald's order real? Or is that like propaganda?
Remind me. I know it's in excess even for me.
It's like three
two fish fillets
and like two diet. It's nuts. It's got to be like 40,000. It's like you don't know it from Friendship. It's the Navy SEALs meal, 22,000 calories.
Sounds tight.
Okay. Anyway, what's the next question? We got to get out of here.
This is more real or more in our lane, maybe a little bit. It's going to be 2025. Summer ins and outs.
Oh, this is what I should have spent time on.
Yeah, you said GQ said glitter and sequins is in.
Well, I was looking at 2024's GQ stuff, and it was like, short shorts, sequins and glitter, cheetah print, like animal
really
print
swinging
stuff.
for the fences,
What is
huh?
this
A large publication like, such as GQ, that's the best they can come up with.
This sounds like Nylon Magazine wrote it.
It was a little weird. And then it had like stuff.
They're
like,
hurting without Noah. We got to get him.
No,
Can he be on the pod now? Well, he probably still won't. It's a conflict of interest.
We want Noah on the pod because he said some crazy shit. And we think that it'd be funny to talk about.
But I got to be honest, if they're going to this, like I said, like it sounds like they're writing an article in Nylon in 2007.
I like GQ, but there's some stuff, and they did like double-breasted jackets and like loafers, and I'm like, okay, those are like that's.
Are cummerbunds in too? What's a cummerbund?
It's one of those things you wear with a
girdle.
It's like goes if you're wearing
girdle. Isn't that what it is? That's what he's describing.
No, it's like a little,
It's like a band that goes around your waist.
When you're wearing a tuxedo. And
inside the coat
pleated.
Or outside the coat?
Inside the coat.
Keeps you trim?
By your shirt. Over your shirt.
If I'm being 100%, I'm not exactly sure what the purpose of it is. It might be for looking slimmer. It might just be for like cutting up the proportion. I'm not exactly sure what it's for.
Yeah, and then next year they're gonna say wrapping your feet in loincloth. It's like this is silliness. Nobody
wrapping your feet in loincloth.
I'm saying things that are just obviously not quote unquote in, like glitter. Glitter is not in. And it's a silly thing to say.
Maybe, to be fair, there's a slight chance that if that was a trend for real, it didn't reach you.
Yeah. Probably.
It was probably some runway shit that happened last summer. I think that's probably what.
Yeah.
Like some, where they got it at?
Yeah, some big brands were like, oh, we're making some, jackets and shit with glitter. And
I can jump in here and just say that I think that like there's a little bit of like listlessness that's happening in fashion right now, which I think we just need to be okay with, where it's like there isn't that many hard trends right now because women's had already kind of moved past hard trends and it was getting more and more difficult to even isolate them because they were so dispersed. And now it's sort of just like you can kind of tell the trend that's happening, at least in women's, to me, of like based on like what are the group of influencers that you follow on the internet, and I can tell you like that's how that trend is. So it's like everything's micro trends within that. And for men, we never really had great trends to begin with, so we were sort of like whatever can be whatever for a little bit because it was like the first time it was participating in fashion for real at a higher level. And I think that now there's just sort of we're in between, and that's okay. I don't think there's any real hard trends. I mean, even the stuff that like is being kind of grabbed at, like, like big shorts or whatever, you're like, kinda, but like how, I mean, it feels like it's very amongst the younger audience and I'm not seeing it that much anywhere else. And I think that that's just it. I think we're getting to the point where like, like you can be like, well, like lower profile shoes. And you're like, yeah, no shit. We did maximalism for ages. So obviously just everything will get more low profile for a while. And anything's going to start to feel low profile compared to like a Balenciaga sneaker or whatever. Yeah. So, I think I think that people and maybe magazines and stuff having difficulty like putting their finger on something. So we're sort of grasping at straws sort of makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I think hopefully I'm hoping and more hopeful that this is the era of just nice clothes, and we're gonna get a little window. And like I've said a million times, all these new designers that are on all these different places. Now, look, maybe we've just ushered in the new era of like subtlety, and we're back to like a return to elegance type of shit, where it's gonna be like all these different creative directors that got shuffled around and designers that got shuffled around and going to different houses right now are kind of putting out their first stuff for the first time. I've argued that the first stuff was never going to be theirs. That's like technically old ideas that they've pushed in. Yeah. And I don't know, did we talk about this on the pod or maybe I talked about this somewhere else, but Yeah, I think it's just going to be like we're not going to see much yet, and then there'll be something that happens. A point of view will really start to emerge by like next season, I think, or the next season's presentation, and because we'll see like those designers' real visions for things. Maybe there'll be trends that come out of that, or maybe a lot of those designers definitely have that more like soft palette, like subtle, muted, not minimalism, because like I've said, that needs to die. I'm so sick of minimalism in clothes. It's so boring. But softer, more muted everything, silhouettes that are just pretty
Silhouette and fabric based.
Yeah, and then and like luxury based, like proper luxury based, not luxury meaning like it's got a brand across the chest in gold that's $25,000 for a t-shirt, or it's not that version of luxury that we've seen for so long. That's so gross and wealth forward and just kind of ick, you know what I mean, like new money shit, and a return to like just more like elegance and pretty things. And, hopefully that's what happens for me, because that's what I like. But I think that luckily, thanks to a lot of the major houses kind of putting out mismatched stuff, it was kind of end of era for a lot of people, beginning of era for new people. And the like things like La Mer and Orly are so popular right now. And I'm only using those as like continued examples because I think they've always been doing what I'm describing is like the new elegance. Yeah. I think that like it's like a cool thing that we'll get to see for the first time of like these designers either make trends or it's all just going to be micro trends from here on out, and like it all just exists in your own niche, and there aren't these like these like large scale trends, because I think the end of Virgil and streetwear and sneaker culture and everything has left a lot of people going like, was I really into this, or was this just a thing? So now we're just dealing with the true fans, for the first time too. And like, a customer that technically has grown up since like the shift that happened like pre-pandemic and stuff like that, and like the shift that happened in retail after, and now we're seeing a lot of like more grown up, like people that were in their early 20s experimenting are now in their 30s going like, what does my wardrobe actually look like?
What do I like to actually dress in?
I don't know. I think that like doing ins and outs right now is like hard.
Yeah, and that's all I was saying with glitter is like maybe everybody is gonna glitz up, and that's cool. That fucking rules. I was more so responding to like, we have a massive publication, and the best they could come up with is glitter is in. And I haven't seen anybody wearing glitter. That was my only pushback. But there is
I don't know that you're hanging out with a lot of people that are wearing glitter, but I do. I
hang out with y'all, and that's about it. So
yeah, no, we're not glitter folks. But I mean that's what I mean is I think that like these like micro trends or like just the stuff that exists inside of your community is a little bit more. It's almost like how things were, like we've talked about it before, like one high school would have a trend that like in my town that like never exited our town. You know what I mean? Like that was like our thing. I think you're starting to see that kind of like mentality happen in fashion, where it's me and my people that I hang out with and know are all into this thing.
Yeah.
And then that's a trend that kind of exists in your world and nowhere else. And that's cool and kind of maybe more interesting because there's like a nice return to sameness like we've talked about, which is kind of okay. And this return to like, I'm influenced by my community and where I'm from and stuff like that. So maybe that's just like what we're starting to see, because like before that wouldn't have ever had like a magnifying glass up to it. Now it does through social media and all the other different ways, So it's kind of cool that like maybe like something that we're into could, that's not really exiting. Like the German Shepherd joke that I do is just like a stupid analogy I made about a color palette because it made my life easier because I'm dumb. You know what I mean?
But it's stuck.
And like, but I also like, that's obviously like, that's coming off of because I'm a fan of La Mer, and that's kind of like the color, that's how I describe the color palette he's always used.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's just, it's not really any, but it's like, now it's like but this is what I mean. It's like you and your group will start doing something or saying something, and then that kind of becomes this little world. And I think that's kind of fun and weird.
I think that's
like
awesome.
World building that happens in fashion that's less like pandering.
Yeah.
Maybe. So
I miss the hyper local things. It's like when I got to 7th grade and everybody had a pair of etnies. There were the black etnies, and you got to pick the color. You want a green, blue, red. I think those are the 3 options that we had. And like that was cool and fun, and you got to enjoy it all together, and it felt really local. And I'm sure you guys had a dozen things that I've never even heard of that were in and out every 6 months. And
I asked about orange pants. Like everyone had orange pants for a while.
You've talked
but I'm
about
not
this.
Sure where that came from. It's like one guy had them and we thought he was cool, and then everyone, 5 other guys got him, and then like 10 other people got him. It's
and then
scheme.
everybody's wearing orange pants. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like if I had to be hard pressed to do this, I would say I think that certainly material seems to be where a lot of the trends are happening. Like we're seeing like almost all brands that we deal with are dealing in some sort of linen. And like, look, that's obviously, it's like, I'm not saying it's anything revolutionary, but I do think that there's a little bit of a trend inside of it right now, and like the different variations of it, and kind of seeing that, you know, expand a little bit of what it can be. Because I think everyone thinks of linen as sort of one thing, and like the, you know, cheaper linen shirts from like J. Crew or whatever, and that's not, linen has a whole you know, world around it. I think like natural palette, like I just mean like a very like not bright colors sort of situation is happening. Not even just like me joking around about the German.
It's not just like taupe and shit. Like
it's just a very neutral color scheme, which I think is nice. So I think that that's a thing for right now that I've noticed. You know, obviously everything's like a little more like, I don't know how, like, I don't know how to like describe this exactly, but a little bit more true body positivity kind of stuff in fashion, of being like, it doesn't matter exactly how you look. It's kind of cool that like we're all just like accepting and like chill and comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know how to like describe this exactly, but I've just seen it a lot of like emerging brands of it being like, we're not going to use traditional models. And I don't mean that, like, I understand this has been going on for a while and the revolution that's happened, but I mean more in like a real way of like a lot of the lookbooks and stuff. I'm like, these look like people I would know. You know what I mean? And I mean that as like shedding light on like beauty of more just like not it being like one standardized thing, but this like whole broad thing where it feels like maybe that whole push has started to like, people started to get it for real, not just like the more, look, I understand big brands with a huge audience, like them taking that kind of swing, like a body positivity campaign or whatever, that might feel sort of general, and it does, but like that's how you get it introduced and people comfortable around ideas. So I think that's really important. But I've now noticed where it's like, oh, I really don't think anyone cares. You know what I mean? It's just like I think maybe this is it. It is a trend inside of like glimmer, I'm hoping, because we've talked about this a lot, of like sincerity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of like, these are people that actually wear the clothes. These are my actual friends. This is like an authentic, real thing. I think like that whole like saying authenticity went so far the other way of like when people said it, I started to just be like, well, that means 100% it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If they're
Yeah,
using that word, then that means it's not.
Yes.
I feel like it's kind of folded in on itself to now where it's like, it doesn't need to be talked about. Brands like that are doing well seem to be very like authentic to themselves in a nice way.
It communicates itself.
Yeah. So I think that's a cool thing. I've just seen a lot of these emerging like designers and stuff I follow online being like, oh man, just feels like they're just like shooting this like at their spot, and it feels real. And like, it feels like I understand the people that are into it. And I understand like you can kind of reach out and touch it sort of thing.
I could see myself wearing that shit.
I think like I've seen a lot of like, who's that one designer that like got a lot of press like last season? Emily Dawn Long. She's like in New York. It's like I think she does it out of like an apartment, and it's just like, it all feels like very raw and real.
Cool.
It's all like very like not made to order necessarily, but like there's not depth to it. It's just like a vision that sort of makes sense if you follow the whole thing. That I really fuck with. Like it really makes, I guess that's what I mean. Like this, like that authenticity feels really real. For whatever reason in that scenario. So I think that's kind of like, that's a, you know, an example. I don't know. I don't have like, this isn't like a clearly defined thing, obviously, but I think that maybe in the next season it will start to be, but I don't know. Like it just feels like a little less like performative.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit more like, I think that would be really great to see a return to like appreciation of fashion as art and treating designers like artists. And this isn't like, it's not all meant to just be worn and be like, oh, I wear this to like show how much money I have. And it's more a little bit about like, oh, this is about like supporting artists, and this is like a cool, unique thing, and I can just follow it and I don't need to participate all the time. Also, it can just be something I'm really excited about as art. So maybe it's wishful thinking at the same time, but I feel like that's what I've kind of like missed in fashion, of like, it just feels so kind of boring and branded.
Yeah, I agree. It was, at least for a long time.
Yeah.
I like these kids' vibes.
Damn, he's got a Chicago Bulls baseball jersey.
And I think, unless I saw the shorts were also red and had, I think it was also Chicago Bulls branded basketball shorts. Damn. And then he had, but
that's like having like a Seattle Supersonics soccer jersey.
100%.
Like,
yeah. And he had on a flat bill hat turned backwards to the side, and maybe some sneakers.
They might know.
You know what?
We don't know.
I fuck with that. That kid's doing his thing. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You've been really pushing for getting like sports stuff into
Back in, yeah.
Here's the thing. Two things. As we've been sitting here, I am sweating like a fucking hog, dude. I am soaked underneath this Boro jacket. So I already decided when we get done with here, I wanted to buy some socks. I'm going to go buy some socks. I'm going to buy my pair of shorts.
Oh my God, you haven't bought those socks yet?
No, I have to.
Jesus
I have to think about it for 2 or 3 months. It's been like a year thinking about it. So I'm going to do it because enough anxiety was brought to me this morning with all my socks. All my socks are fucking dirty, have holes in them, beat to shit, flat, etc. So
we've discussed it with the financial planner. We've discussed it with my mom, a guy at H&R Block.
Yeah, talking to my guy at H&R Block.
We are good to go on the socks.
But and also I need to dig out my Harlem Globetrotters jersey. I'm wearing that this year somehow. I don't know how, but I am.
Mm-hmm. This will be for some real heads, but like I think a lot of us that have been into fashion for a long time. Shout out our boy Kyle in town, who I think did the styling at the time, but since closed, great menswear store at the time, Gentry.
You've always said their styling was.
I can't remember. I think it was
tier.
maybe like a Raptors jersey underneath, and maybe it was. I can't remember what it was. There's no way you could find this. If you did, it would be incredible. But it was like
I would kill to see it though.
All I'm saying is it was a bold. It was whatever the jersey was. It was a very bold color choice. You know what I mean? So like Raptors, or I don't. I can't.
Raptors would be purple. Yeah.
Anyway, it was like underneath like a jacket, and everyone at the time was like, "That's fucking it. That is hard as hell," and it was very cool. Like the look was. It really worked.
Yeah.
So I do think
really
it's
cool.
doable. Maybe you should consult with Kyle and see if he could.
Well,
see
the
if
thing
he
is,
did that one.
the way that I would
I think
likely
I
wear
asked him
it.
if he did it. To be
Did
honest
he?
with you, because I thought about it for years.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing you always bring up with Gentry.
That was a tough look.
I wonder. One, I want to see what kind of jersey it was. I wonder what color. Because for some reason I would have said a Celtics jersey, but I don't even think I've seen this styling. I have.
It
I
might
have
have been like a
jersey.
Grizzlies or something. It was some
Grizzlies. Ooh, a Memphis.
Maybe,
It'd be like
maybe.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's not right. It was just a bold color choice. It wasn't like something like it wasn't like a Spurs jersey or something.
Yeah, something that would be more
Slightly
neutral to blend
easier,
in. Yeah. I don't know. I probably won't wear it here. It doesn't feel like not that we're like the most professional work environment. Wearing like a basketball jersey with no shirt underneath is probably not the move. But hanging out around the crib, maybe going to Home Depot, picking up some lunch. That's what I'm gonna do. So,
Globetrotters. Is it
like that.
is it like a specific player?
No,
It's just
so when I was really
Globetrotters.
young, for my birthdays, my dad would take me to sit courtside at the Harlem Globetrotters. We went 2 or 3 years, and when you sit courtside, you get a free jersey, and it's just like a nondescript Harlem Globetrotters. It's like a silver cream color with like red and blue accents and this and that. Then I had like a blue one, but I don't know where that is. It's not
Their
with
whole
me.
their whole logo and everything looked like it was like the McFlurry logo.
Yeah, they're pretty close. Yeah. So I don't know, but I'd love to do that. Or if anybody out there has recommendations for like a Hanes t-shirt, but like a Hanes, like what is something like that? Like it's got like a finished hem. You know what I mean?
What are you asking for? Just a T-shirt?
No. Like you go to like a show and the band has like a tank top. You know what I'm talking about? Like a cotton tank top, not a wife beater,
But like
and not a cutoff, but like it's
not
hemmed. It has piping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it has like the hem on it. I'm looking for a basic like that. You know what I mean?
I think you're just talking about like a not ribbed tank top.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm just looking for recommendations.
it's like a Hurley
I'm
top.
like confident you could just you could hit over to Amazon and they've got multiple choices for you.
Because it's still got to be roomy. You know.
You get an Amazon Basics triple XL tank.
Did I tell you I wore my my integrity cutoff? That would have been last weekend. The weekend prior when I went and planted trees with my buddy, got sunburnt to fuck. Did I tell you about this?
I could have.
Yes, you talked about this.
Okay.
I could have.
I kept reapplying spray sunscreen, didn't do anything.
You got burned.
I'm done peeling, but it's a permanent. We'll
God.
see this tan line in December. You know what I mean? Like well after the sun goes away. So
what else we got? Did we answer that question?
what was the question?
I feel like
we just talked.
Ins
I
outs.
talked too much.
Yeah. And listen, I'm gonna apologize right off the rip for anybody that I offended with the bicycle outfits comments,
go.
the political comments, and the glitter comments. It's just my own personal opinion. I'm an idiot. None of that's factual. I'm mostly doing a bit. So it's anybody.
I don't think anyone's listening to this being like, he's really coming after the community.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just funny because Willie just walked by laughing. So heard me.
You just been talking a
Be on my
lot.
diatribe.
You brought your box today for sure.
I did. I did. And it started with the bike outfits because we talked about that guy having his hog out in Whole Foods and it's just got me stirred up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
No, it got me stirred up. I'll say that.
Stand in the void.
Let's wrap up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Wrap
dude.
it up.
Some new arrivals here, Chase.
We got some new arrivals. So we got some new Balance are in and received. They're mostly restocks, some 574s. We have Beams Plus is live. We've already said that. Shoe from MM6. Mono Stereo restock is now live, and a couple of new items in SKUs we've already had pre-existing. So a new
But
color in the
like,
fatigues.
if you're hearing this, do it like now, because
like straight up, because it will have already been online.
It's a lot of it's already gone.
This is now the third or fourth time this year we've gotten a restock of
fourth.
Mono Stereo. So hop over and get that shit. Full restock of most of the colors we had in the raw hem tee, in addition to some new colors, some new pants, restocked the polos. And a couple other little ones and twos. The community ringer tees that have that ribbing around the collar. So Mono Stereo. On the way, APFR has hit us. APFR has been picked up in Japan and is now on the way. And in fact, I have an email from UPS that I need to clear it through customs. So I will do that. Hopefully that lands end of the week. And we're able to get that received quickly. It's already in the system. So at the time of this, it might arrive Thursday. Might have it online Friday. Just pop over to the site. I'll plug it in Discord and stuff as well. That being said, water is also on the way and needs customs clearance. It has been sitting. I don't know why, but they shipped it, so they're not asking me for the customs clearance, it appears. And what they did ask me for.
This is the
detail. Yeah, I didn't even realize it.
Good.
to Chase's daily.
So that's gonna say I'm gonna email this person, and then I don't know.
We got water. We got APFR.
Catchball is restocked.
Catchball is restocked. Those are live. In a big way. Clearly, y'all loved Catchball. Real McCoys. Some fun summer gear in there. Cole, some stuff that you might like. That knit short sleeve shirt. That's pretty cool.
She got it.
Yeah, she got it.
I know the XL of that sold yesterday, and I was like,
oh, no kidding.
That's sick. Look,
Which one was it? Which one was it?
It's
The
like a
Real
beautiful
McCoy's knit short sleeve shirt.
really cool looking.
Beams Japan hit us and said almost the entirety of the rest of the order is ready. So that will probably get here. It'll start heading here relatively soon. What am I missing, Cole?
A6.
A6.
Oh yeah,
Some
big
new
A6.
A6,
Yeah,
yeah.
a bunch of new A6.
Bunch of new A6.
I'm trying to think what else. New Balances, we got, other than the 574s, we got the 1906s. Those are cool too. And I think we got a size run. A6 were one of, I forget which one it was. It was the Gel Keanu 14s.
Gel Keanu 14,
gone
white
in a
graphite
day,
gray or
yeah.
something like
Completely
that.
sold
Gone
out first
every
day we
time.
got. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about
We
it.
have an exciting like new home goods kind of blended with almost like art.
Oh, do you want to talk about that?
Oh.
Yeah. So the only thing I want to get the name right, and I always
I have it. If you want me to say?
Yeah.
It's called Pull Push.
Yeah.
It's
I
out
always
of
worry I'm
Kyoto.
gonna say the wrong one
Push
first.
push and pull would
Yeah.
be like the colloquially
So
accepted.
every time I
you know,
go say it, I second guess myself.
It's
too
the
many times.
opposite. That's how I remember.
Yeah, so I mean, like I'd seen this around. I followed him for a bit. I really liked. It's just like a really intricate, like kind of like architectural, like little.
They're little homes, dwellings, objects made out of cement that are meant for incense burning. So like the house, you put the incense in, it kind of comes out
like
the
a
chimney
candle
and shit.
holder,
You know what I mean?
There's
Yeah.
a clock. There's
Yeah.
like one that I think is more just for the art's sake. One's like a catch-all. They're like functional, like pretty little pieces of art, and it's got a very specific like look to it. It feels very urban, but also kind of like it has this like minimalist kind of look to it. That's really cool.
It's like, and it's like brutalist almost, like
Yeah,
very
that's great.
sharp,
Yeah. Yep.
flat edges, kind of like Eastern European architecture looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I started like messaging with him a bit more, just talking about that I thought the stuff was cool, blah, blah, blah. Mentioned that I owned a store, and I was like, I don't know if you do wholesale or whatever. He's like, I do it occasionally, but it takes like an incredibly long time. And I was
He
like,
said
oh.
a year, and it almost was a year to the
It
date
was like,
that
yeah,
it was
he,
ready.
he
Like
really
literally
nailed his estimates.
364 days, I think it was.
Yeah. So we've been waiting for it for like a little bit over a year now from the time that I initially started speaking with him. So I'm really excited to see it in person. I've never seen it in person.
Yeah.
I just followed online, and I just always thought it was such cool stuff. So I'm excited for that. So we have like a really nice selection, but this will be like a get it, and then it's gone. Because even if like it sold out tomorrow, I'm gonna have to. It's 1 year away.
Might as well put together the reorder now and just submit it.
Yeah.
Because I'm very, very confident when I say that this is going to be like
really
a feverish thing. It's incredibly cool. I was just looking at all the photos because we've already got it built into our system, and I am beyond gassed. And also, I'm happy to report it is very inexpensive for what the product is.
It's like
it's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, he needs to change his prices. Is the reality, but it's so it's a really great price point for like the level of work and detail and everything that goes into these things. So that's really exciting.
Cool. It's going to be an experiment to pack that, but we will find our ways. Maybe a box inside of a box is the way to go, but we can talk about that off the air.
You don't want to talk about different kinds of boxes we carry? Or
well,
like
I had a thought. I thought, well, the accessories box would fit inside a small shoe, so if we could fit inside the accessory.
Gotta get it out like a sneeze.
Anyway, that's that. I think that about rounds it out.
Okay. All right. Well, great.
It's been a pleasure.
A really nice podding with you, pal.
I am sweatier than a hog.
You're really out of control today.
Yeah, I really did let it fly. Apologies if I offended you. That's not my intention.
I don't think you gotta chill. I don't think you offended
It's
anybody.
the anxiety in me. You have to understand I'm 75% anxiety jumping around in my body. Mm-hmm. So I apologize. But I also stand by what I said. So I'm joking. I take that back. Okay.
Just joking. Just joking. All right, we gotta get out of here. Bye.